Good Wednesday morning. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. And Miller, your favorite day of the week, I'm guessing Wednesday? Wow. What day is your favorite day?
What is mine? I love every day of the week.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I'm just an optimistic guy.
That's good.
Especially days I get to sleep in.
Oh, well, then that would be Saturday
wouldn't be every day of the week.
And Sunday. Yeah.
What's your favorite day?
I think Friday.
Like Friday?
It's kind of like I get to stay awake a little later into the night if my body lets me, and we usually watch a movie. And
oh, cool. Yeah. I would say if we took a poll, Monday would not show up high on that.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to bet that.
Well, good morning, everyone. We've been windy over the last couple of days. Those winds will give us a break today. And actually, we do have a nice day on tap today. Wasn't that bad yesterday, so temperatures got above average in the 40s. Not going to make it there today because of that cold front that swept through yesterday. The cold air behind it really digging in today, so we'll struggle to get above freezing maybe in some spots. 22 right now here in Billings, feels like 13, winds out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. We've got 27 in Glendive, Broadus at 25. We've got some cloud cover in Roundup at 22, where we've seen some snow just slide out of the area. Livingston right now 22 with some snow just to the south of your area. You can see the winds not an issue as we wake up this morning, and should be a very pleasant day today. Now we could see some snow west and east of Billings. But here I'm going to go with lots of sunshine, maybe some clouds mixing in, with our high today getting up to about 34. So that's a good, 6, 7, 8 degrees below average where we should be. But it really will be a nice day, and we won't have to deal with the wind on this international, or is it national, dance day. Here we go.
Ooh, check out this guy.
Oh,
he has some.
Go for it, buddy.
Is he really elderly, or is he just dressed that way? I guess he's 80 years old.
Is this fella 80?
He's this is a
Check him out.
Deal, yeah.
There he is.
Come on, I want a backspin though. I want something down on the floor.
Oh.
I'm not quite impressed yet. I mean, anyone can swing their arms around.
He's
if he does that.
Well, he's in some sort of competition.
There it is. He's like, you can keep your Social Security, you can keep your Medicare. I just want to dance. I took this to my Facebook page this morning. If you just search meteorologist Miller Robson, you'll find it. Can you name a song with dance in the title? Some great answers coming in this morning. Christine said Dancing Queen by ABBA. Ricky said Dancing on the Ceiling. Chalet says Your Mama Don't Dance and Your Daddy Don't Rock and Roll. And Gary gave us several, but the one I picked out, The Dance by Garth Brooks. Really nice songs there. Everybody get out there and dance. Yeah. I did the safety dance earlier. I apologize, and I hear the police are waiting for me out in the parking lot right now. Scared too many people. Sorry.
It's okay.
Want me to do it again?
Hopefully people missed it and they were still sleeping. They're just waking up. All right, Miller, I'll get on to the news.
Okay.
Thanks. We begin with the latest on the pandemic. Lawmakers are nearing a relief deal. Experts warn of a March surge, and vaccine production is ramping up. Drug makers say 240 million doses will be ready to ship to states by the end of March. Pfizer and Moderna have contracts that promise 600 million doses by the end of July, and this latest announcement puts them on track to reach that goal. Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine will go under review on Friday. AstraZeneca is also looking to get U.S. approval for its COVID-19 vaccine by April. Yesterday, Montana dropped under 2,000 active COVID-19 cases for the first time since September. But a new report warns a more contagious variant could spike cases beginning in March. It suggests speeding up vaccinations by delaying second doses for now. The study also shows it is crucial to practice safety measures like social distancing and wearing masks. President Joe Biden says the government will probably start sending out masks in the mail soon. In the meantime, lawmakers are trying to come to some kind of agreement on a COVID-19 relief bill. House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi says they plan to vote on the $1.9 trillion plan on Friday. Once the House votes on the COVID relief bill, it'll move to the Senate. The bill is getting major pushback from Republicans, and it will take a yes vote from every Democrat in the Senate for the bill to pass. Now closer to home, the first medical school in Montana is coming to the Magic City. Rocky Vista University plans to build a 135,000 square foot medical school on the West End. Q2's Andrea Lutz has the details on what prospective students can expect and what it means for Billings.
This 12-acre parcel will serve as the footprint for Montana's first medical school, as Rocky Vista University announces it's coming to Billings. The proposed 4-year privately funded medical school will offer students a Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree, and after accreditation, could break ground in May.
There's 4 states in the United States that does not have its own medical school. That's Alaska, Wyoming, Montana, and Delaware. And we want to support and help the same mission, which is producing more physicians for this region.
Officials with RVU say Montana was a natural fit because of an already qualified healthcare system.
There may only be 100,000 people that live here, but this wonderful healthcare system you've developed, this medical mile, serves over 600,000 people throughout the region. What it's missing is a medical school.
And the potential economic impact is huge, set to bring in millions of dollars to the community, along with over 300 jobs.
Think of the world-class healthcare and investment that's already been made in our community from Billings Clinic and St. Vincent Healthcare and Riverstone Health and others. Marrying that investment that is foundational to our economy and the work that we already do, and was foundational to how we have been responding to the pandemic.
And the medical school will use the partnership of Billings Clinic, St. Vincent Healthcare, and Riverstone Health to further engage students in their studies. Rocky Vista University was founded in 2006, and Montana will be its 3rd state behind Colorado and Utah. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
The Osteopathic Medical School takes a holistic mind, body, spirit approach to care. A doctor of osteopathic medicine is slightly different than a traditional medical doctor. However, the same board gives licenses to both types of doctor, and they must meet the same standards for practicing medicine. Well, a bill to delay the start of Montana's recreational marijuana program until 2022 is making its way through the state legislature. Billings Representative Bill Mercer sponsors the bill and says the state needs more time to implement the program, which would give licenses to recreational shops. Because it is legal to carry small amounts of marijuana right now, the owner of a medical marijuana facility argues delaying these licenses will just push people to buy from the underground market. He says that will take away Montana tax revenue and jobs.
We've made product and we're ramped up for it. We've built more facilities. We're creating more products as we speak. We're building more locations. We have 3 locations and we're building our 4th right now.
House Bill 457 is scheduled for a hearing on Friday in the Business and Labor Committee. Senator Steve Daines says he has many concerns with President Joe Biden's nominee to lead the Interior Department. In fact, Daines had a lengthy exchange with Deb Holland during her confirmation hearing. MTN's Mike Dennison has more on Holland's historical and controversial nomination.
The New Mexico Congresswoman would be the first Native American confirmed as a presidential cabinet appointee. But at Tuesday's hearing, Holland faced tough questions from many Republicans, most of them from oil and gas states. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso said the Biden administration is taking a sledgehammer to western states' economy by banning new oil and gas leasing on federal lands.
In his first month in office, President Biden has declared war on American energy. He's crushed jobs and threatened vital education funds for our children. Representative Holland's past statements show that she agrees with this strategy.
And then there was Senator Daines, who asked Holland about whether grizzly bears should be listed as recovered in the Yellowstone ecosystem and their management returned to the states. He also asked about her previous calls to ban fracking and oil pipelines and oil and gas leasing on federal lands.
On November 19th, 2020, you said that if you had it your way, and I quote, you'd stop oil and gas leasing on public lands. As Secretary, you will get to have it your way. Will you recommend extending the leasing moratorium? And how do you justify this moratorium with the requirements of the federal law under the Mineral Leasing Act?
Senator, it's my understanding that it is a pause on just new leases, not existing valid leases. And if I'm confirmed as Secretary, it is President Biden's agenda, not my own agenda, that I would be moving forward.
Daines asked what Holland would say to eastern Montanans who've lost their job because of the cancellation of the Keystone XL pipeline. Holland said she will do everything she can to make Biden energy policies work for all Americans, and that she had faith that clean energy will create jobs too. But she also said in her opening statement that there is no question that fossil fuel energy will play a major role in America for years to come. Conservation, public lands, and Native American groups in Montana are strongly behind Holland's nomination. Taheen Perez of Western Native Voice, a group based in Billings, said Holland has a reputation of working across the aisle on many issues.
We don't believe that she's a radical. We don't believe that she is a puppet for any sort of agenda with the Green New Deal. I think that she is her own independent, free-thinking person and has clearly voiced and expressed her desire to build consensus with all political players.
Whatever happens to Holland's confirmation, it looks like fossil fuels versus clean energy will continue to be a divisive issue here in the West. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The Senate also held a joint hearing with two committees questioning the men in charge of security at the Capitol on January 6. The former security officials say they were unprepared for the assault because of faulty intelligence and a breakdown in communication. U.S. Capitol Police now acknowledge they received an FBI report ahead of the attack, describing online threats of a, quote, looming war at the Capitol. Former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund says he was told on January 4th that bringing in the National Guard would be bad optics. Also making headlines this morning, representatives for Tiger Woods released a statement overnight saying he is recovering from a long surgical procedure on his lower right leg and ankle after crashing his car yesterday. No one else was injured. As CBS's Daniel Backus tells us, it's a major setback for the 45-year-old still trying to compete at golf's highest level.
Following an early morning car accident in Los Angeles on Tuesday, Tiger Woods underwent emergency surgery on his lower right leg and ankle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sick to my stomach. Just worried for his kids, I'm sure they're struggling.
According to a statement posted to the golfer's Twitter page, doctors at Harbor UCLA Medical Center inserted a rod into his tibia and stabilized his foot and ankle with screws and pins.
It's very fortunate that Mr. Woods was able to come out of this alive.
Los Angeles Sheriff's Deputy Carlos Gonzalez was first on the scene of the accident.
He told me his name was Tiger, and at that moment I immediately recognized him.
Emergency responders say they had to pull Woods out through the front windshield of his mangled SUV. The crash happened on a road known for speeding and collisions.
Hit the curb, hit a tree, and there was several rollovers during that process.
Woods has had his share of health issues before the crash. The 15-time major winner was already recovering from his fifth back operation.
He's 45 years old, but he's really like 60 years old in terms of how his body has been just kind of beaten up over the years from playing golf.
Earlier this week, Woods said he wasn't sure if his body was ready for this year's Masters tournament.
This is the only back I got, so I don't have much more wiggle room left there.
Woods hosted a PGA event in LA this past weekend and was still working in the area with sponsors. Police say there is no evidence Woods was impaired. Danya Backus, CBS News, Torrance, California.
Woods has an ugly history behind the wheel. In 2009, he drove into a fire hydrant and tree outside of his Florida mansion. And in 2017, Woods was charged with a DUI. Now we go to Butte, where some neighbors band together to put an end to an attempted car theft. As MTN's John Amer reports, the situation quickly turned violent with gunshots fired.
Brandon Shaw and his wife were getting their kids ready for school like any typical Tuesday morning in their quiet Butte neighborhood. But on this morning, the sound of gunfire came from outside.
And, it was three fast shots. It wasn't a shot and then a shot and then it was boom, 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 pop, pop, pop.
Shaw got his gun and ran outside to find his neighbor and his neighbor's 66-year-old father struggling with a man accused of firing the shots. Officers arrested Dylan Harrison on several charges, including attempted deliberate homicide in connection with shooting the 66-year-old man in the hand. Police allege the victim was shot when he attempted to stop Harrison from entering his son's car that was left running on the road. At that point, the victim's son came out and disarmed the gunman by wrestling him to the ground. And that's when Shaw came out of his house and held the suspect at gunpoint until police arrived. The situation was disturbing for everyone involved.
That's the part that's most sickening. I mean, I'm glad everybody's okay. But, all of us in that neighborhood right there, we all have kids, ages 3 to 7, 8 years old, and they play outside together all the time, and you never have to worry about it. It was a shocking thing to see that happen right there like that.
The victim was treated and released for his injuries. The sheriff said this was a very fortunate outcome for a situation that could have been much worse.
We're very fortunate that no one was killed or injured more seriously in this incident, and we're thankful for that.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Harrison is also facing felony counts of assault with a weapon, robbery, and motor vehicle theft. In court news, sentences were handed down to 2 people for the 2019 murder of a man north of Canyon Ferry Lake near Townsend. Dwayne Johnson was committed to the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services for 10 years, and Serena Kilsheimer will serve the same sentence in the Montana Women's Prison. Back in 2019, Johnson stabbed Shane White, saying he believed White was going to attack him. Johnson pleaded guilty but mentally ill last month. Court documents say Johnson suffered from schizophrenia and truly believed the murder was self-defense. Kilsheimer held White's arms down while Johnson was committing the crime. She will not be eligible for parole. Montanans are no stranger to high winds. They've been known to damage houses and rip shingles off roofs. But for one family, that damage was much more severe. Their home was literally destroyed. MTN's Cassandra Soto caught up with them as they walk us through what happened that night.
Over the weekend, high winds were seen all across Montana. For the Sampson family, it was those same winds that blew the roof from their home.
We had to climb over logs. It's just hard to get out of here.
Around 9 p.m. on February 21st, Donna and Pete Sampson were awake in their Stanford home with no power. Then, as they heard their home creaking, they knew they had to get out.
By that time, the west windows, the curtains were just blowing like crazy. The creak and the noise was horrible. And the roof lifted, and I went to get my husband, and stuff was falling all over us, and he said, back up, we got to get out of here, we'll get out of here.
Thankfully, both Donna and Pete were able to evacuate the home safely and wait in their car for help. Their home of 40 years, gone in a night. Now, with help from their community, the Sampsons have relocated to a family friend's home for the time being.
I can never think how many wonderful neighbors and friends we have and relatives that just all healthy, making it so much easier for us.
In Stanford, Cassandra Soto, MTN News.